I'm your host, Andrea Bazemore, and welcome to another episode of The Black Apple, where we talk about education and social justice in the classroom. Any teacher can tell you that including the power of your parents into your classroom increases your possibilities for your students. I was reminded of this at our school's data night. I had parents come up and continually ask, how is my student doing? How is my student doing? And for my parents who had students who had great achievement, they walked away from that meeting feeling proud, accomplished, and successful. But for parents who had children who were already behind, and a reminder, I teach kindergarten, I sensed a fear of failure. One student resonates in my mind in particular. This student, who I'll call M, had low achievement. She had grown since the first day of kindergarten. However, in kindergarten, we're working on mastering our letter sounds, which is something that student had a really difficult time with. And so when I met with her mom, and I told her about her achievement, and I told her about what was expected of her in kindergarten, her mom was shocked. She had no clue that in kindergarten, you are supposed to master all of these things. And she told me, she said, Miss Bazemore, if I had known that my student needed to master all of these things, I would have been working on it all summer and the previous year before coming to kindergarten. And since that child had not had any preschool experience, the child was already behind. And I began to see that mother became incredibly overwhelmed. And she said, I don't know what else to do. So I gave her some concrete steps. I said, work with her on letter sounds, work with her on beginning, addition, facts, and counting, and work with her on her handwriting, something that they could do at home very easily, because letters and sounds and words and objects are all around us. It was simple to tell her that these things could be worked on at home. Fast forward a week. I'm sitting with this student at my small group table, and I see that she knows the letter sounds before anyone else in her group. Yes, mind you, it was the lowest group, but just in that week span, I could tell that her mom had worked with her over and over about letter sounds and about counting and about addition, and her handwriting tremendously improved in just a week. And so the lesson from this story that I gained was that, one, I have to include my parents at every step. We cannot be successful in our job if we don't include parents. If I had not included her mom in the educational experience, that student would have lost a month, maybe 2 months of learning, because we were going over something so simple that could be done at home, that could be reinforced at home. So invite your parents into the classroom. Invite your parents to go along this educational journey. No matter what level of education your parents have, they can do something to help their child. We cannot only use parents for behavior reinforcement. We have to bring them along in our journey. I realize that my job gets easier when I include the family. And when I am open and honest and willing to talk and communicate with my parents, they're more open and honest and willing to help out in the classroom. So using things like Class Dojo, where students and parents can see pictures of what's happening in the classroom, helps for us to build a better connection as a classroom community. Asking for parent volunteers, whether it's having parents cut out things for our next project, parents suggesting science projects, inviting parents to actually physically come to school and present something of value to the classroom, or just being there for support. We have to utilize the people who are here in front of us. And we cannot just say, because I am the teacher, because I am the educator, or because I teach lower income students, I have to do it all. It simply won't work like that. So the story of M has inspired me to leverage the power of my parents to a greater degree. It has solidified my love of communicating with families, and it is what inspires me about education. So think about how you can utilize your parents. What are you doing in your classroom today that you could ask for help from your parents in your classroom? What are you doing in your classroom today that parents need to know about so they can reinforce in their home? What are you doing today to help build that relationship with parents? Thanks. And remember, education is power, but knowledge is sweet.